Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, over 4 committee meetings took place this past week, but one meeting in particular had residents up in arms over a proposed budget that will affect many of our students. We have a full recap of this week's school committee meeting in our top story. The city will receive over $400,000 to aid with foreclosures in our neighborhoods. We have how the city aims to spend the cash and where the city ranks in the state in terms of the crisis. Plus, Marlborough firefighters put their skills to the test as they learn how to rescue their own men in dangerous situations, how they're receiving the training and where it's taking place. And later in this half hour, thanks to the city's garden club, it was all about the flowers this week as we enter the month of May. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's Committee Corner as parents joined forces at a public hearing this past week to voice their opinion on the school district's budget for fiscal year 2010.
Several parents at a packed public hearing advocated for keeping an advanced learning program that faces cuts in a budget approved by the school committee Tuesday night. The school committee recommended a $48 million budget with cuts of the gifted and talented staff, but left the door open for a redesign program for the district's youngest students. The budget features 28 cut positions, including the one staff member designated for the gifted and talented program in the K-3 schools. Many of the parents who spoke have children in the program, stating that they would consider taking their children out of the public school system if the K-3 program is cut.
You do not want to lose these people. They may not come back.
Although the recommended budget includes the gifted and talented cuts, the school committee voted to refer discussion about the K-3 program to the curriculum subcommittee and the assistant superintendent. Committee member Jennifer Hardy said the discussion could result in a redesign of the program and absorption back into the budget. Approved additions in the budget include a Latin curriculum for the 7th grade and a National Junior Honor Society for the 6th and 7th grade. The school committee also approved an amendment adding $878,000 to the budget for union staff salary increases. The school committee's recommended budget now moves to committee chairwoman, Mayor Nancy Stevens, who will work it into the entire city budget. The city council Monday night decided in a 6-5 vote to use a line-item budget review process in fiscal 2010. For the past 2 years, the council has used an abbreviated review format. Department heads have been authorized to transfer funds not related to salaries within their departments. Salary transfers and transfers between different departments require council approval. The council will now return to reviewing each transfer. A proposed one-year city planner position will go to the city council with a key positive recommendation, but some councilors are still worried about the job's responsibilities and cost. The Personnel Committee on Monday night unanimously recommended approving Nancy Savoy for the full-time position in fiscal 2010. Savoy currently works as the city's planner 2 days per week. The Personnel Committee recommended keeping her in that role through fiscal 2009. Some councilors are worried about the cost to the city in terms of benefits. The full council will likely vote on the one-year position at its May 11th meeting. Officials said at Wednesday night's Operation and Oversight Committee meeting that changing the curbside trash pickup system from bag to container collection could save the city money and make the sidewalks cleaner. The Public Works Department displayed a 39-gallon Allied waste trash container, which could replace the current trash bag format. Public Works Commissioner Ronald Lafreniere said he anticipates a decrease in the amount of trash put out and an increase in recycling with a switch to the container system. The 39-gallon container, which can hold about 3 bags, should be enough for a typical single-family home, and the new system could be implemented before winter. The Operations and Oversight Committee plans to take up the matter again Monday night, when it will discuss specifics such as cost breakdowns. The City Council will likely hold a public hearing soon on the program. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Gindin.
Two Marlborough Marlborough residents were arrested on assault and battery charges over last weekend in separate incidents involving public disturbances. One resident was arrested at about 1 a.m. last Sunday morning outside an event at the Masonic Hall. He was charged with assault and battery on a pregnant person. He is due back in court on May 22nd for a pretrial hearing. Another resident was arrested on Briarwood Lane at about 6:30 p.m. last Friday, charged with assault and battery following a domestic disturbance. The woman was released without bail at her arraignment in Marlborough District Court and is due back in court on June 15th for a pretrial hearing. Well, Mayor Nancy Stevens announced on Thursday the city has been awarded $400,000 in federal housing stimulus funds. Marlborough will receive the money in Neighborhood Stabilization Program funds to preserve foreclosed properties for affordable housing. Funds will be used to purchase foreclosed residential properties and rent or sell them as affordable housing to first-time home buyers. 39 communities in Massachusetts will receive awards based on the high number of foreclosures they have experienced in the past year. The city ranks 16th in the state in terms of foreclosures. Well, thanks to a grant from Homeland Security, the Marlborough Fire Department is receiving critical rescue training until the middle of May in an abandoned estate on Framingham Road. Training began this past week and we were there. Here's Kelly McLaughlin with more on this story.
Thanks to a $131,000 grant from the Department of Homeland Security, the Marlborough Fire Department is receiving the training they need in order to safely save a downed firefighter in a building. Rapid Intervention Team Training, more commonly known as RIT, has been going on all week long on Framingham Road, an opportunity that doesn't come along too often. The abandoned estate at 93 Framingham Road is assisting the department with a site to conduct all facets of the training process.
Different sections of the house are trying to mimic what it might be in a real condition. Smaller rooms, obstacles and stairs and things that we have to encounter during a rescue of a firefighter. So you have to deal with getting someone that has full fire gear with an air pack on, how to move them around and get them through doorways, down halls, out windows, how to move someone might be some sizable weight with all the gear on.
We learned from Deputy Chief Flynn many factors impact the saving of a downed firefighter, and all firefighters need to be educated in this type of rescue.
The whole part's tough. It could depend on the weight of the firefighter, how much space you have around to move, the heat conditions in the building. There could be several factors in that, and the size of the window also.
Mannequins are used to simulate a real-life situation, but in reality, the feeling isn't the same as a real firefighter. That's why, for many instances, a real firefighter was used for the training purposes.
The mannequins can only simulate so much, so use some real people in places where they're not going to get injured doing it.
On this particular day, temperatures soared high into the 80s, making training more lifelike.
We do our fires on days like this. We have rescues on days like this. It's going to happen. So we just have to be careful because we don't want anyone getting hurt, having any heat-related physical problems or anything. So we do take it a little bit slower and make sure we do drink a lot of fluids.
Their training will be going on through the middle of May. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
Speaking of staying safe, numerous city officials came together Wednesday morning at the Department of Public Works to discuss just that as the city embarks on discussions about a triathlon that will be held here in the city this summer. With a race that will host 600 triathletes, working out safety details is priority number one.
In just under 3 months, Marlborough will be home to a triathlon, and according to the Department of Public Works Commissioner Ron LaFreniere, it's been some time since they've had something of this kind here in the city.
It's been quite a while since the last triathlon that we had in the community, so this is exciting for me as well as the other city officials who are working with the race promoters on it. So we're looking forward to it.
When you have an event like this that involves roads and the safety of athletes throughout the duration of a race, it takes time and effort to plan.
It's important that we take a look at the areas that are going to be used for each leg of the race and make sure that accommodations are made from a safety standpoint to protect the participants.
On Wednesday morning, a meeting was held at the DPW with the commissioner, the fire chief, the police chief, the mayor, and race officials, including an official from Hudson, to discuss triathlon details. Parts of the race will run into the town of Hudson. Tim Crowley, co-founder of this triathlon for the city of Marlborough, says a triathlon consists of 3 sections of the race: a timed run, swim, and bike ride. For this event, the 150-year-old Fort Meadow Reservoir, located on the central border of Marlborough and Hudson, will offer an ideal swim venue. The clockwise 5-mile bike loop course is a combination of flat and rolling roads with a gradual climb toward the end of the loop. And you can't forget the run, all 3.2 miles of it. The course will be partly hilly, part dirt and gravel along the reservoir, and part road pavement. Best of all the funds raised with this triathlon will benefit this school district.
We really wanted to make a connection with kids and fitness and wellness, and we thought the sport of triathlon was a really good vehicle to bring this. And so once we realized there was a lot of winners in this venture, then it was a really good project to get involved with.
For more detailed information and a place to sign up, visit marlboroughtriathlon.com.
We've got some top elite world-class athletes coming, and it's rare to have a sport where the beginner can race right alongside elite athletes. And it's right in our own backyard, so it should be great.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week. As the weather heats up, kids will want to walk to school. We have a way they can walk safely every Wednesday morning as the school district aims to promote health and wellness. But first, April was Autism Awareness Month, and thanks to one local mom, students at a local elementary school received the information they need to know about their fellow classmate, Rachel. Don't move. That story's up next.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. April was Autism Awareness Month, and local residents came together to raise autism education in schools and their community. At Richer Elementary School, one local mom shared her experience with Suzanne Garcia's 2nd grade class to educate the students about her daughter, Rachel.
Higher Elementary School has joined in on the school's efforts to educate and celebrate the school's autistic students this month.
Richer School has, we hope, heightened awareness of the neurotypical children to their autistic peers that are an integral part of our Richer School community.
For Suzanne Garcia's 2nd grade class, learning to accept all children, whether they are older, younger, male or female, or just plain different, was on the top of the agenda this month, helping to lead the school's education effort about autistic awareness. Having an autistic child in her class, Garcia felt it would be beneficial to learn and educate her class about autism and their fellow classmate, Rachel. Activities have included question and answer sessions and reading books such as Autism and Me, Sibling Stories. The students learned all about the subject while meeting weekly with the mother of a classmate with autism. According to Garcia, Rachel's mom, Michelle, has been an integral part of the awareness this month.
Rachel really enjoys seeing me in the classroom. There are a number of moms that come in and volunteer their time, and I think again it solidifies that normalcy. That, Rachel is an individual that has a mom, has siblings, likes to be active in the community, has interests and hobbies of her own. And so I think it makes her feel as if it's more of the norm.
And for Michelle's daughter, Rachel, the Awareness Month has been very positive for her as well.
She comes into this classroom and she's part of whatever activity we're doing. She feels very accepted, and that's the most important thing.
Thanks to student teacher Miranda Daigle, the class created a ribbon with 20 interlocking puzzle pieces, each depicting a fact about autism to share with the whole school.
I just thought that what a better way to have them be involved and maybe make their own puzzle piece and have it their own and be proud of something that they've thought of. And then just to intertwine them all kind of is significant of the fact that, we all work together in this classroom to raise awareness.
Just in time for National Physical Education Week, which begins this Monday, May 4th, the Richer School welcomed a representative from World of Rope Jumping into their gym to teach students the importance of being active on a daily basis. With fancy jumping skills, Mark Rothstein certainly grabbed the attention of these young, active students.
They're awesome. They are trying their very best. They're leaving with a sweat, which is a good sign, and they're hanging in there and just working really, really hard.
Thanks to the Richer School Parents-Teacher Association, students on Tuesday enjoyed some jump roping fun with Mark Rothstein from the traveling show World of Rope Jumping. Rothstein has been with the show for over 23 years and goes worldwide. The day-long workshop promotes health and fitness for every age level.
Well, it's a great activity because you can do it at any age. You can start very young, as we're doing in kindergarten, and it's a lifetime activity. So it will remain a good exercise for them forever.
Although the activities were aimed at promoting cardiovascular health, there were some fun visuals as well.
Well, during the show we did some pretty fancy jumping, such as supersonic, tornado jumps, atomic one leg, and flying ninja. And during the workshops, we're trying those as well, along with promoting rope jumping for cardiovascular fitness.
According to Rothstein, jump roping is a great way to get kids involved in daily exercise.
Well, obviously, the sooner they learn and get in the habits of exercise and proper nutrition, then the easier it will be for them to maintain that throughout life.
Despite a busy lifestyle, taking the time to exercise and eat healthy is important to living a long and healthy life, and starting young is key.
I think it's probably just a balance of, taking care of their academic assignments from school, along with a little bit of exercise each day, balancing that with maybe not quite as much time in front of the TV, or, a time to turn off the computers once in a while, and it's all about balance and making sure that it's a priority for them to do a little exercise every day.
This past Wednesday, some students rode the bus to school and some lucky students walked. The Wellness Committee and our local schools welcomed back Walking Wednesdays with open arms as over 4 schools participated in the activity. We were there to catch all the action. The Wellness Committee would like to make all parents and students aware that the Walking School Bus has started up once again this year. Walking Wednesdays are back in conjunction with the newly formed Walking Lunch Bunch. This will be the 2nd year of the Walking School Bus, and students seem to love the exercise they receive by walking to school. To ensure a safe walk to school, parents, officials, and residents walk with the children until they are safely into their specified schools. Drivers beware, police will be stationed along the walking routes with radar guns to find speeding drivers, so please obey the speed limit. So far this year, Jarrick, Kane, Richer Elementary Schools, and the 4 to 7 school have participated and are learning the importance of getting active before school. All students are encouraged to join in on the fun. For more information, please speak with your school's physical education teachers. Another activity that young residents can join in on shortly is the annual Boys and Girls Club Summer Camp. The Pleasant Street Clubhouse has lots to offer students this summer, and to find out just how much there is to do, we spoke with Unit Director Steve Zeff to learn more.
We have up to 175 kids at camp. So the social interactions they get, the friends they're going to make, and the opportunities to do a lot of things that they wouldn't otherwise do is probably the biggest reason we'd like to get them here to camp.
The Marlborough Boys and Girls Club is offering your child an enriched experience this summer through age-specific programs at the Pleasant Street Clubhouse.
We have a 5 to 7-year-old camp for our younger campers, 8 to 10-year-old camp for the next level up, an 11 to 13 camp, a teen camp for 14 to 16, which is one of our newer programs, and also a technology camp, which is basically a computer camp for kids from 6 to 13.
Most of the children who participate in the summer programs enjoy the club all year round.
And for the after-school program, they're able to do lots of different activities in the building downstairs, but for summer camp, we're able to bring a lot more structure to the program, and we're able to get the kids out of the building a lot more.
Concerns about safety? No problem.
Board of Health comes in and they sort of go over our records and make sure that we're properly licensed and do everything that we're supposed to do in order to conduct our summer camp. And with that, we're able to have qualified staff. All of the folks who run our groups are full-time employees at the club. Most of us have been here a very long time, so they have a lot of experience doing what they do.
And you guessed it, it's affordable too.
We try to keep our fees as low as possible. We do offer scholarships. Last year, between the Cambership Coalition and our in-house scholarships, we were able to offer over $30,000 in scholarships to kids in the Marlborough community to come to our camps.
Interested residents can call the club at 508-485-4912 for more information on all of the programs offered at the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West. I'm Kelly McLaughlin for Marlborough This Week.
Coming up, we have a recap of this year's Art and Bloom display. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are two types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Residents enjoyed the efforts of the Colonial Garden Club and the Marlborough School District's Art Department's display of spring-themed arrangements earlier this week at City Hall. In case you missed Art and Bloom 2009, we were there to capture the beautiful, colorful exhibit for you.
April showers may bring May flowers, but local residents viewed Art and Bloom at Marlborough City Hall this past week, the last week of April. The Colonial Garden Club of Marlborough, in conjunction with the Marlborough School's Art Department, presented Art and Bloom 2009. Members of the Garden Club recently chose a piece of art created by a student artist from the variety of items shown at the citywide art show, Art is Essential. Members then chose a color, shape, and texture, as well as a combination of all three in creating the floral pieces. Props were also added. The floral arrangements were on display with the works of art that they were interpreting. The opening reception took place Monday night in the foyer at City Hall, right before the City Council meeting. The art and floral pieces remained on display until Wednesday.
The Colonial Garden Club didn't stop there. Later in the week, they took their skills over to the Senior Center to help senior residents welcome in the spring season with a Mayflower bouquet. All residents were eager to learn the skills necessary to make a beautiful arrangement. To bring in the new month with style, the Colonial Garden Club met with senior residents at the Senior Center on Main Street to combine their skills with their creativity to make floral arrangements to complement the season. A group of about 12 made Mayflower bouquets with the help of Garden Club members. Flower projects are done twice a year here at the center.
Today's project is for a May basket that they will make one variety of a May basket for themselves to keep and one that they can give to a friend if they choose to.
The club is not only involved with the seniors, they are quite active in this community, including maintaining the welcome boxes at the entrances to the city.
We also sponsor educational grants at the schools and for the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts to do gardening projects, as well as give $3,000 scholarships to seniors.
And we can't forget the annual plant sale, which will be held this year at the corner of Main and Bolton Streets on Saturday, May 16th.
Most of the flowers are perennials from members' gardens. So we have some very unusual specimens that people grab right away.
There will be a huge variety of plants to choose from, and club members will be on hand to help answer gardening questions. Karen ended our interview with one quick tip on how to keep your plants alive and healthy this season.
Water, 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 and have good soil.
Anyone interested in joining the Colonial Garden Club of Marlborough may call Holly Evangelist at 508-481-7383.
Today we have Jewel, and this precious little baby is Asado from Puerto Rico, and she came over with her sister Bijou. Of course, she was put on hold immediately, but we always take up to 3 applications on every dog, so if there's anyone you see here, there's always a chance, you never know. She's just a baby, and she's got a lot to learn. She's not housebroken yet, and she's not spayed yet, so there's going to be a lot involved in taking care of this little one. But if you're interested in Jewel, who we believe is some type of terrier mix, she's a female, please feel free to give us a call. The number is 978-443-6990.
Coming up, annual spring hydrant flushing is here, and the DPW has a message to all residents. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services and resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's One Stop for services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The city began its annual spring hydrant flushing program this week. The program is expected to last about 4 weeks, and it will run Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. to midnight. Now, some customers may experience dirty water as a result of the program. The DPW states on the city's website that it regrets any inconvenience, but the process should result in better water quality. Anyone with questions can call the DPW Water Division at 508-624-6910, extension 7400. And before we go, don't forget about this weekend's Earth Day festivities. The mayor's citywide clean sweep will kick off this Saturday, May 2nd at 9 a.m. at Memorial Beach, and following will be the city's Earth Day Fair at Galone Park. Also, in conjunction with this event, the city will be holding a Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day on Saturday, May 16th. Residents can drop off items at the Easterly Water Pollution Control Facility behind the Halfway Cafe from 9 to noon. Approved items include aerosols, antifreeze, batteries, fluorescent light bulbs, and brake fluid, among other hazardous waste items. For more information, please call 508-624-6920. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, this year's citywide clean sweep swept through the city last weekend. We'll tell you how much trash this year's volunteers picked up in just a few moments. One local life science company received a major boost. We have what the company received and from who. Plus, Hudson Catholic High School nears the dreadful day when their doors close for good, but supporters say the school won't go down without a fight. And later in this half hour, seniors learn Latin moves with the help of one local choreographer. We have an inside look at the latest Latin exercise craze. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top story as the city cleans up with the help of an army of volunteers during this year's 2009 Clean Sweep.
On Saturday, May 2nd, the City of Marlborough conducted its annual citywide Clean Sweep project with elected officials, residents, civic groups, and business representatives. A committed group of city employees and volunteers worked to tackle the job of improving the appearance of some highly visible locations throughout Marlborough by clearing trash and debris. According to Mayor Nancy Stevens, the annual event is a wonderful way to get out into the fresh air, get some exercise, and contribute toward making the city's neighborhoods in which we work, live, and play look their best.
There's a couple of people we would really like to thank specifically, and that's some of our sponsors. Dunkin' Donuts for the coffee and the donuts, Price Chopper, and some of our corporate sponsors. Raytheon every year makes this a big employee event by holding a breakfast and having their employees out on Route 20 cleaning all morning, and we thank them. Boston Scientific for doing the same thing, getting their employees around. The French Hill Neighborhood Association for organizing up on the hill. And Allied Waste. They're here today, have a truck specifically for the city going around and picking up the trash today, so we thank them so much.
In 2008, more than 200 volunteers worked for 3 hours, collecting 6.42 tons of trash in 2 dumpsters, as well as 238 pounds of recyclables. The mayor couldn't have been happier with the turnout this year. An outstanding volunteer award was even given out.
Eliza has been the one. It really is. We meet during the day, at the end of the day, and work on coordinating this. And it is, again, Department of Public Works, the Conservation, the Recreation Department, and I forgot Dave Grasso with the Recreation Department. But we get together, and it really is a city effort. But Eliza's always been here for us.
Following the cleanup, the second annual Marlborough Earth Day Fair was held from 11 to 4 at Galone Park, where residents learned about energy efficiency, solar energy, water conservation, recycling, and more. If you missed this green event, check out the Green Marlborough website at greenmarlborough.org for Go Green tips. Now on Thursday, numerous officials came together to talk about this year's event, to examine the collection results, and to discuss what the city can do better next year. We joined in on the meeting to get the 411 on how this year compares to last year. Officials met at the DPW on Thursday afternoon to wrap up this year's 2009 Clean Sweep to figure out what worked and what didn't.
We had a great group of people, and I'm always impressed at how many people come out and how many people are so willing to give 3 hours to do some hard work and really get, you know, in the bushes and pull all that stuff out.
As of Thursday, final numbers weren't in yet, but the feeling was unanimous. The city once again did a great job cleaning up trash around the city.
Last year we collected almost 6.5 tons, and so we have 2 full dumpsters and a dump truck that was picking up and didn't dump into the dumpster. So we don't have the totals yet, but we do know that we had a significant amount of trash that we picked up.
Unfortunately, littering does happen, and this event aims to help sweep away that issue.
We spend time throughout, the DPW does a lot of cleanup regularly, and this just provides us with 200 volunteers, 3 hours. That's a lot of time.
Officials want to thank all of the groups that participated this year and hopes next year the event will be even bigger. This event truly makes a difference in this city.
Collectively, we all really can feel that we're making a difference, and it really does make the city look better.
Police arrested a Marlborough man who they say broke into a Lincoln Street apartment early Sunday and beat 2 people, including a resident who was asleep. According to court records, 48-year-old Michael Hurst was arraigned in Marlborough District Court on Tuesday and ordered held on $500 cash bail. He is due back in court June 3rd for a pretrial hearing.
At the Operations and Oversight Committee meeting on Monday night, councilors discussed switching the city's trash pickup system from bag to container collection, but still have details to work out before bringing it to a vote. Committee members threw their support behind the proposed 39-gallon container, rather than the 65-gallon version on display at Monday night's meeting. Public Works Commissioner Ron Lafreniere stated the containers for the 11,000 households would cost the city just over $600,000 in the first year. However, the city could be eligible for grants if it goes with the smaller containers. Officials also expect an increase in recycling and a decrease in curbside trash with the new collection system. The Operations and Oversight Committee plans at least one more meeting on details before the public can comment. In a majority decision, the Urban Affairs Committee on Tuesday night gave the thumbs up to a proposed condominium project along Route 20 across from Lake Williams. The Gutierrez Company plans 60 condos for the Lake Williams project. Councilors voted 3-1 in favor of the development, which moves next to the full City Council. If approved, the condos would likely sell for about $300,000. The school committee last week recommended a $48 million budget for fiscal 2010 that would cut the gifted and talented staff member responsible for the K-3 schools. The program would continue at the grades 4 to 7 school, with a cut of 1 of 3 staff members. Last week, several parents at the school committee's public hearing on the budget spoke against the cuts, and some say they would consider taking their children out of public schools if the K-3 gifted and talented program is cut. The school committee last week referred discussion about the gifted and talented program to the curriculum subcommittee. At the meeting on Tuesday afternoon, school committee members and department administrators said despite the change, they want to make sure the district will meet children's needs next year. The school department is aiming for more differentiated instruction, which places students of all levels together, and administrators are confident the department has teachers who can reach out to all learners. The school department should have a plan in place if it ends up cutting part of the gifted and talented program. Assistant Superintendent Sandra Delaney said she will talk with the principals of the K-3 schools about how they could meet children's needs. Delaney will give feedback at the next curriculum subcommittee meeting. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
A local life sciences company is part of a select few in the state to receive a loan for product work and marketing. Spectra Analysis of Marlborough received an award of $500,000. The Massachusetts Life Sciences Center approved the loans for 7 companies out of 88 applications. The loans come from the Life Sciences Investment Fund, one part of the $1 billion initiative. Well, speaking of funding, following an announcement by the Archdiocese of Boston, the doors of Hudson Catholic High School are set to close due to budget deficits and declining enrollment. Students and supporters gathered last week on the steps of the school, demanding the Archdiocese help remain the school open for at least 3 years and develop a strategic, long-term plan for the school. We were there. Here's more on the story. Students, parents, and supporters gathered on the steps of Hudson Catholic High School last week for a press conference to discuss the closing of the school.
Our vision is to ensure that generations of children receive a high-quality, comprehensive Catholic education for grades K through 12 in our community.
Richards called on the Archdiocese to take responsibility for years of neglectful leadership on the parish level, its lack of strategic planning, and an unwillingness to allow parents to help the school. With an abrupt announcement on March 30th that the school will be closing in a matter of months, many feel disillusioned with the lack of information that has been provided thus far.
Our initial reaction was shock, and then it became anger as we realized that, if we felt like we were being set up.
Parents and alumni have made efforts in the last few years to work with the parish on bolstering the school's sinking enrollment, but were largely ignored.
For them to come and pull this kind of a stunt, to me was a shock, and in all honesty, the Archdiocese has a knack for really leaving people disillusioned.
Enrollment at Hudson Catholic High School is currently 117 students this year and was projected to be 96 students in the fall. The Friends of Hudson Catholic state that the group has been given a range of answers and the amount of money needed to keep the school open, anywhere from $375,000 to $1.5 million. The Friends group states that they hope to have a meeting with Archdiocese officials and are waiting to hear back on when that will be. It's clear that if Hudson Catholic does close, students will be devastated. With 1 year left for juniors, some students feel it's a slap in the face.
I'm a junior, I was supposed to be a senior next year, so you're telling me I have to go to one new school for 1 year, whoa, that's a little crazy.
I was in shock, I couldn't believe it. I've come from public school and I came here because I loved the school, and to hear that it was closing and I have 1 more year left, I'm pretty upset about that.
With the end of the school year approaching, the fight to keep Hudson Catholic High School open may have to come to an end if the Archdiocese does not cooperate, but not before seeking more answers.
If the school's going to close, we want it to close with the truth out there. So that was one of our goals in this press conference here today.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, our local Ironman Kevin Brown is back in town, and he needs you this year to help with his fundraising efforts. But first, a program organized through the Governor's Council on Physical Health and Sports hit home at 2 of our elementary schools this past week. Don't move, that story's up next.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is.
We've learned about autism.
To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together.
Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. ACES, or Children Exercise Simultaneously, aided in teaching all students at the Jarwick Elementary School this past week the importance of daily exercise and a healthy lifestyle. We spoke with Jarwick's physical education teacher, Irene Mazmanian, who told us more about this annual exercise event.
This is National Physical Education and Sport Week, and we want to honor that with a physical pursuit.
The weather was on Jarwick Elementary's side on Wednesday afternoon as the school's students took part in a walking activity inspired by the National ACES event. Jarwick Elementary has been participating in ACES for over 10 years. Nationally, ACES has been going on for 30 years. All students power walked for 15 minutes in 3 walking laps arranged by Mazmanian earlier in the day. Kindergarten, 1st and 2nd graders had venues on school grounds to walk in, and the 3rd graders walked around the school.
Kids know it's important to exercise. Kids aren't just people who don't know anything. They know a lot of stuff, and they know how important it is to exercise and the well-being that comes from it.
Teachers, students, and administrators took a time out to walk with the kids, and Mazmanian says this event really solidifies the school's message regarding fitness and exercise.
It empowers the kids to know that you really have to just get out there and walk, and it's a simple thing to do, but there's a lot of benefit from it. You know, the calorie expenditure, just the feel-goodness of it all, and it just empowers them to say, hey, look, even if I don't have 5 kids to play basketball with, I can go out and take a walk, or I can, you know, run, or take my dog for a walk. And I think that that's the message, that you don't need a lot of stuff, you just need yourself, and the one word is you need to move. Just keep moving, and that's kind of what we try to highlight here. In and amongst the skills we teach and the activities we do, that if you're moving, you're doing something for your body, your brain, it's all good.
Now, as you know, fitness is beneficial at any age. Fitness at the Senior Center infuses fun and music into one motivational class called Zumba Gold. The Latin dance class utilizes the natural beat, tempo, and music transitions of Latin music to tone and strengthen the body while having fun. And for the seniors, it seems to be all about the music.
Rapidly becoming the next fitness sensation throughout the country is Zumba, a fusion of Latin music and dance themes that create a dynamic fitness system. Many local residents who are attending every Monday at the Senior Center on Main Street are enjoying this high-energy class. Bringing the Latin-inspired fast-moving exercise routine to the city is local dance instructor and choreographer Seal Sharon. Latin music pulsates these days as the seniors move with merengue and cardio stretches during the Zumba class or the line dancing class, both of which are taught by Seal. This multi-generational dance instructor has been teaching dancing in Marlborough for over 30 years. The center offers Zumba Gold, which is specifically for adults who prefer a slightly slower pace but receive all the benefits of Zumba with a little less intensity.
The Zumba started in September. It was the first time that we actually did the class, and it is growing in popularity.
Classes are held every Monday at 11 a.m. and all are invited to attend, which gets everyone's hearts pumping for 1 solid hour.
They're having fun, but the whole point is that they're moving. That's all I care about. Whether it's right, wrong, just have fun and move.
For the seniors, it's all about moving those muscles and, of course, hearing the sounds of the Latin music. Seal says she has a regular following of seniors that come every single week, and if they do happen to miss a class here or there, this class allows that flexibility. In addition, Zumba Gold can accommodate any fitness level, but Seal says listen to your body.
If you're doing something and there's any kind of pain, stop. If you get out of breath, sit down in a chair, rest a few minutes, get up, try it again. And that way they get to know what their body can and cannot do.
And not only is this class good for your body, but also learning and knowing these dance moves may help snag a tall, dark, and handsome Latin dance partner in the future.
They can cha-cha, they can merengue, they can salsa, they can rumba. So, you know, if that man comes along, I'm still waiting for one, but if he comes along, they'll be ready.
Well, speaking of getting moving, numerous officials came together last week at the Department of Public Works as the city embarks on discussions about a triathlon that will be held here in the city this summer to benefit the Marlborough School District. The race will host 600 triathletes on Sunday, July 26th. The 2009 Marlborough race field is filling up quickly, and race officials highly encourage you to register now to secure a spot. For more information, please visit marlboroughtri.com. Well, speaking of triathlons, former Marlborough resident Kevin Brown paid us a visit to talk about this Ironman experience as he's completed 4 competitions in 2008, and he's about to complete 5 more this year to benefit the Addiction Referral Center here in the city. He's raising money and he needs your help. Here's Kevin with more.
Kevin Brown is a tireless advocate for the local Addiction Referral Center right here on Main Street. He has taken his appreciation for their services and turned it into a fundraising effort to ensure the doors never close. Brown has committed to 9 Ironmen in a span of 2 years to raise money for the ARC and 5 other charities of his choice. I met him on Union Common last week to discuss this year's Ironman details.
We've got 5 Ironmans planned for this year, starting in a little less than 7 weeks at Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
With his next Ironman just 6 weeks away, Brown feels confident on his journey thus far, but he needs you. Brown encourages all residents to check out his story at whatareyonuts.com. There you'll find information about his journey and how you can help.
I'm looking forward to this season of Ironman racing, and I hope that everybody in Marlborough will take a minute and follow my journey and choose to help the ARC and help our other charities out as we move along.
Coming up, the Rotary Club has an upcoming fundraiser that they'd like you to know more about. We have all the details, plus
B-A-L-K, catcher balk. Well, I don't know what it is, and Aspet, well, they found out on Tuesday, so later in sports, I'll tell you all about it.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. At the Marlborough Rotary Club's weekly meeting this past week, Rotarians got the lowdown on an upcoming fundraiser that's taking place at the end of this month. The annual fundraising event called The Finer Things in Life usually focuses on wine tasting and the sampling of foods, but this year there's a whole new twist. Kelly McLaughlin has the details.
The Rotary Club gathered for their weekly meeting this past Thursday at Coral Seafoods to have lunch, take care of some business, and to discuss an upcoming fundraiser. Amanda Karafis, co-chair of this year's event named The Finer Things in Life, says this year's event has a new twist that all are sure to enjoy.
We are partnering with Monty's Mini Market this year to bring in a full line of cocktails. In addition to the wine, we'll be offering vodka cocktails, some interesting drinks with Prosecco, and some other after-dinner beverages. So it's going to be a whole different focus.
Also, surrounding businesses have come on board to help make this event a great one.
We've got a half a dozen restaurants that'll be down samplings of their foods, including Chloe's, the Holiday Inn, the Marlborough Country Club, and a number of other local favorites.
At Thursday's meeting, a presentation to all club members introduced the details of the event.
We've made so many changes on this event for this year's event that we wanted everyone to know what was going on, so when we're out promoting this within the community, all of our members know what's new and different.
Tickets are $40 and all the proceeds will support the club's efforts to help make this community a better place.
The funds go to support the charities of the Marlborough Rotary Club Foundation. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization that supports all of the other groups in town. Every year we raise about $25,000 to $30,000 from these events.
The Finer Things in Life will take place at the Holiday Inn on Thursday, May 28th at 6 p.m.
The only thing we ask is that you be 21 years of age, because that price includes all of the food, all of the liquor, and the entertainment.
Contact any Rotary member for more information. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
This adorable little guy is Toto, and believe it or not, Toto was found as a stray. He was an unneutered male who was running loose, and nobody claimed him. So he came to Buddy Dog to be neutered and to find a new home. He is friendly, he has tons of personality, he's super active, as you can see. He has tons of hair, which does require professional grooming because he does not shed. So his hair does need to be trimmed and brushed on a regular basis. He was fairly matted when he came in, and we did brush him out quite a bit when he was neutered. So he was sleeping and he didn't know a thing was going on. If you're interested in little Toto, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
A catcher's balk. Well, it's charged to the pitcher for pitching when the catcher is actually out of the box, and it has the same penalty as any other balk. The runners get to advance one base. Well, Aspet took on Keefe Tech on Tuesday afternoon, and this rule was in effect. Keefe Tech came into the Valley on Tuesday afternoon, and they were up 3-1 at the bottom of the seventh when Aspet gets on with the leadoff man on a strike three swing in the dirt, takes first, so runner on first with nobody out. The next batter, this is blooped in the right field for a base hit. So now we have first and second, nobody out, Aspet trailing by two to, guess what, those unicorns. Well, keep moving, and it's another single to right field. This is going to bring in a run which cuts the deficit to 3-2. Aspet now just trailing by one, bottom of the seventh, still nobody out. Next batter, grounded in deep into the hole. Throw the first, not in time. Steve Parker beats it out. Now you have a situation. The pitch low in the dirt. The runner takes home, and they're all tied up at 3. So with runners on second and third as they advance as well, an intentional walk is coming. And the catcher is outside of the box. That's a balk, a catcher's balk. As we described, that means the runners will advance. As everyone is extremely confused, the runner takes home, and somebody celebrate. That's it, high five right there, ball game. Aspet wins 4-3.
Anytime, if you're trying to pitch out, the catcher actually has to wait for the pitcher to come into the set before he gives the target, and he was actually jumping out before the pitcher was coming into the set, so it's a balk. And it's a tough way to lose. You know, Keefe Tech, they don't have a league win this year. This meant a lot to them, and they played up, and they're great kids, they're good sportsmanship, and it was a tough way for them to lose. You know, I'm glad we got the win, but I would like to see it end a different way.
Number 10 on the Aspet girls softball team is a boy. Well, we had to find out exactly what that story was earlier this week. Whether you're up high or down low at an Aspet Valley softball game, you'll see a couple of Sotos. Nicole Soto and her 8-year-old brother Billy both have a place on this team.
Ball boy and bat boy.
What do you got to do for that?
Get the foul balls and get the bat after people hit it.
Well, he's always here to support our games, and he's always cheering our whole team on. So Coach called me up one day and wanted to know if he wanted to be ball boy and be part of our team. While
Nikki Soto does her job and rounds the bases, there's one part of Billy's job he won't do: pick up his sister's bat.
She can carry her stuff.
It's whatever. He picks up the team. If he doesn't pick up me, that's okay, as long as he's there for the team.
Although Billy doesn't pick up for his older sister, Coach Mike O'Brien has been pleased by the job Billy has done.
He was on top of every ball, you know, foul balls. I think 4 out of 5 he got. The other first base coach got one. We won't let him down for that one either. So.
An 80% ball chasing effectiveness rate is pretty good for a high school softball ball boy, but it's the intangibles that Billy brings to the team that Coach O'Brien likes the most.
His sister plays a little more aggressive when he's around, just to show that, yep, she's our older sister, the older sister out of the group.
With Billy on board, we'll see how far this brother-sister softball tandem can carry the Aztecs this spring. Well, we'd also like to wish little Billy a very happy birthday as he turns 9 this weekend. Happy birthday to you, Billy. Now, for the rest of you out there, in 2 weeks, we'll have an all-new improved sports segment, and we're asking you, the viewer, what would you like to see in 2 weeks? You could see girls lacrosse at Marlborough High School. You could also see more Aspet girls softball, or perhaps something other than that. So email me at carlwilhelm@WMCT-TV.com and tell me what you would like to see. The most votes will get the most coverage. So for all that, we'll see you in a little while. Back to Kristen.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, the city's 7th graders will be putting on a musical for all to see later on this month, and we have all the details. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services and resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's One Stop for Services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Marlborough 7th graders will be performing the musical Are We There Yet on May 22nd at 7 p.m. and May 23rd at 2 p.m. in the Marlborough 4 to 7 School Auditorium. The musical tells the amusing story of the history of transportation from cave people inventing the wheel to the future of travel. Cast and crew are composed of 7th graders with the assistance of Bridget Dick and Sue Leah, and a multitude of parents and teachers. All tickets are $5 and can be reserved by calling 508-485-8029. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on your MTW News Update, the first fiscal 2010 budget hearing took place this past Wednesday night. We have all the details coming up in our top story. Plus, an ordinance to reduce blight and increase safety was discussed earlier this week, what it could mean for owners of foreclosed properties. And the countdown to Marlborough's Memorial Day Parade has begun. We have all the details of the city's Memorial Day festivities. It's all coming up right now on this MTW News Update.
Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top story. The City Council's Finance Committee began 2010 budget discussions on Wednesday night. The Mayor's office and the Comptroller endured some of the first cuts from the Finance Committee. The Mayor's proposed fiscal 2010 budget reflects an overall reduction of 1.63%, including a significant cut to the school department. The $118.5 million budget is down nearly $2 million from the current fiscal year, which ends June 30th. The budget hearings will run through next Wednesday, May 20th, with a public hearing to follow at the June 8th City Council meeting. We will have a full recap of the committee's decisions on next week's news. Earlier in the week, the City Council tapped a new personnel director and held off approving a full-time city planner Monday night. The council approved David Brumby for the full-time planner personnel director job. A search committee made up of officials from 3 communities had recommended him for the job. The Urban Affairs Committee meeting on Tuesday night supported the scaled-down plan for a retirement community near Aspet Valley High School. A developer's amended plan for an over-55 housing project near the school cuts down on size and adds green space. Toll Brothers plans to build 69 townhouses, down from the 210-unit proposal originally approved by the city for the Aspet Ridge Retirement Community Project on Crowley Drive. Project engineer Mike Carter told committee members on Tuesday night that the plan cuts out about a third of the land and increases green space by 10%. Officials on Tuesday night said an ordinance requiring registration and maintenance of abandoned and foreclosed homes could help decrease blight and increase safety. The Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee on Tuesday unanimously recommended approving the ordinance. Under the proposed ordinance, all owners of abandoned and foreclosing homes must register the properties with the city. The local owner or property management company must inspect and maintain the home on a monthly basis. The property must be safe and secure to prevent unauthorized people from entering. The ordinance now heads to the full City Council. According to a new report compiled as part of the school's reaccreditation process, the instruction at Marlborough High School is excellent. 2 strengths listed in the report were that teachers are knowledgeable about their subjects and they know how to personalize instruction. The visiting committee from the New England Association of Schools and Colleges comes to the high school in October. The high school goes through reaccreditation every 10 years and is currently in the self-study phase. According to Superintendent Mary Carlson, the process helps the school get better.
This week, a big afternoon on Tuesday over at the Valley as the Lady Aztecs softball team was having some fun. They gave up the first run in this ball game, but in the bottom of the first, they got back to some scoring. On a passed ball here, not 1 but 2 runs will come home. And without even putting the ball in fair territory, here's the good old double steal. Will bring in a run as well. Aztecs cruising early in this one. Still ball not in play, but the catcher's going to try and hose Nikki Soto sliding in the third. She's in there safely. The ball goes by the third base man, and in comes Nikki Soto. So more runs are scored. Results in a pitching change and results in myself walking over to see the Battle of Marlborough. Coach of Mike O'Brien says it's okay, you can leave 8-1. Check out the Battle of Marlborough. John Butler and his Panthers on the lacrosse field taking on the Aztecs. Early on, this game is physical. Down goes Butler. Drilled right near the cameraman. But then it's all Panthers on the offensive end. Nice little wrist shot by Chad Carty in there for a goal as Marlborough takes the 3-1 lead. Off the ensuing face-off, the Panthers going the other way. A high toss to Kyle Denny. He lobs it in and throws it low for the goal. Panthers cruising this one up 4-1 at this point. They'll finish with a 13-3 win. And we head back over to the softball fields because now it's 9-7 in the 5th. No longer an 8-1 ball game. And it's up to the Aztecs to get some more offense going. They can't. A high pop up to second. We'll bring Worcester Tech up to the plate. Woo Tech grounded to third. Look at Nikki Soto charging and throwing. Great defensive play by Nikki Soto as her little brother Billy was out for this game. Saw him last week, but in the seventh, here it is, one down. Grounder right back to the pitcher. Aaron Moore throws it high and is dropped at first base, which will keep the inning alive. So Assabet still up by 2 with a runner on first. This time the grounder towards first, steps on the bag, gets the out, 2 down, but the runner advances to second. Worcester Tech cheering on as with a runner on third now after a pass ball. The pitch, this one driven in the right center field. That'll score a run and cut the deficit to 1. The Aztecs trying to hold on after being up 8-1. So now with the runner on first and 2 down in the top of the 7th. The pitch from Moore, hard hit right to the shortstop. Samantha Kerrigan, she flips to second for the game-winning out. And the Aztecs finish with a 9-8 victory. That'll do it for this week in sports. Next week, don't forget, email me, Carl Wilhelm at WMCT-TV.com for your votes on next week's Sportscast.
And before we go, Monday, May 25th is Memorial Day, and the city has a full day planned. The day's events begin at 9 a.m., where veterans will place floral wreaths and play taps at each assigned city cemetery. At 9:30 a.m., veterans will meet and assemble for the day's parade. At 10 a.m., the parade will begin. Veterans who can't march should assemble at the Civil War Monument for the Memorial Day Parade closing ceremony. If you happen to miss out on the day's festivities, WMCT-TV will have full coverage of the event. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of your MTW News Update. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
The preceding program was provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, after 5 days and countless hours, the 2010 budget hearings come to an end, and we have the Finance Committee's chairman live in our studio to discuss the details. 36 community forums will be held this month to hear from residents about which course the state should take to tame its growing budget deficits, and last week officials came to Marlborough. Plus, in tough economic times, sometimes it's good to take a step back and have some fun. How the Marlborough Chamber of Commerce paved the way for a day of sun for many residents. And the Senior of the Year goes to? That answer later in this half hour. Those stories and more all on this week's show, which begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. To begin this week's show, we have Finance Committee Chairman Michael Ossing with us.
Thank you, Kristen.
How are you?
Very good.
Thanks for being here. Now, Mike, several hours, several days of budget hearings, and I think it can be a little overwhelming for residents to watch. Give us the details, numbers-wise, what's going on?
Sure. The mayor's submitted budget was about $118,500,000. And that was about a 1.6% decrease over last year's budget. The Finance Committee met and reduced about $433,000 from the budget. So overall, the budget's about $118 million for fiscal year 10, which is about a 2% decrease over last year's budget.
Okay. Now, Mike, with the economy the way it is, how does this year differ from other years?
Sure, Kristen. So last year, we saw about a $5 million increase in the budget. And with state aid and our local receipts, that equated to about a $100 increase in the local residents' taxes. This year, our budget's down almost $2.5 million, and the local residents' taxes are anticipated to go up about $200, and that the primary driver there is the significant reductions in the state aid and local receipt that the city of Marlborough is seeing. It's about $5 million less than last year.
Okay. I'm sure the committee was faced with so many hard decisions. What was the most difficult one for you this year?
I think that the two hardest ones from where I sat were the Finance Committee recommendations to potentially reduce 2 Forestry Park employees and the summer students in the various DPW departments. And I say potentially because this is the Finance Committee recommendation that still has to go before the full council for a vote.
Okay. Now, Mike, which department, in your opinion, was the most affected this year?
I think the biggest decreases were out of on the city side from the DPW, the Department of Public Works. I mean, they took several positions, which anytime we reduce position, that's a difficult decision for the city. Then there was some other challenges in the mayor's budget. There were some reductions in Mr. Gallone's budget. In our lighting account, we reduced some money, but that's based on savings that we're projecting, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Now, residents at home probably watched, all the budget hearings going on. Now, they're probably thinking to themselves, how am I going to be affected? Now, in your opinion, are residents going to feel all these budget cuts?
They'll feel the budget cuts from the standpoint of their taxes will still go up. I mean, this is an unlikely situation where the budget goes down, yet the taxes will still go up. So financially, they'll feel that piece. As far as services in the city, I don't believe we'll see a remarked change. Matter of fact, I know the department heads are working very hard to come up with creative ways to continue to provide services in a more efficient manner for the residents of Marlborough.
Good. Now, the next step is obviously the public hearing on June 8th.
Right.
Kind of walk us through that process.
Sure. So on June 8th at 8 o'clock, that's Monday evening, the City Council holds a public hearing where all the public is invited to come down and discuss anything on the fiscal year 10 budget. So any of the proposed reductions that we made, any of the items that are interest to the items to the public, they're allowed to come in, comment on, and the council will take all that under consideration. Later that evening, as Finance Chair, I'll report out the results of the Finance Committee's recommendation to reduce the mayor's budget by $433,000, and then the council will decide if that sits on the table for 2 weeks or do they want to take it up and vote on it that evening.
Okay. Now, Mike, before we go, final thoughts. Residents, are definitely concerned about their families, about their homes, just tons of pressures right now. What are your final thoughts? Just what should they be thinking right now about the city and the budget?
Well, my thoughts were with them initially, making sure they take care of their home life all set. But as far as the city, I think they should be comforted in the fact that we do have sufficient funds. We are well off financially, by being well off financially, we still have to be prudent in our decisions because we still have some significant decisions coming up in the city, being union negotiations, contracts, health insurance continues to be a rising issue. So we need to continue to be alert for those, but I believe financially we're in a solid position in the city.
Thank you so much for being here. Michael Ossing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and good luck on June 8th.
Thank you.
Now on to more committee news with this week's Committee Corner.
During a public hearing at last week's City Council meeting, Verizon proposed a 150-foot monopole for 303 Boundary Street. A new cell tower at the Westerly Sewage Treatment Plant would supply needed Verizon coverage to western Marlborough. No one spoke in opposition to the proposal at the public hearing, and now the Wireless Communications Committee will be looking at coverage maps. In other wireless business, councilors unanimously approved a special permit application by Metro PCS for 6 new antennas on an existing cell tower at 115 Anamog Street. The Curriculum Subcommittee meeting met on Monday night to discuss the K-3 gifted and talented programming in the Marlborough Public Schools. The school committee did pass a budget this year that includes the reduction of the K-3 gifted teacher. Therefore, the gifted and talented programming will not continue at this level. The principals of each elementary school, in addition to the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Sandra Delaney, explained how programming will run next year. Parents did attend the meeting, expressing concern that while they understand the facts, they need reassurance that all teachers are going to do all they can to challenge each and every student. All principals and committee members assured concerned parents that they are going to do all they can in the upcoming year. Committee members would like to make clear that the grades 4 through 7 gifted and talented programming will not be affected. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
The annual student exchange to Japan has been postponed because of H1N1 virus concerns. 12 7th grade students were scheduled to travel to Akuruno, Japan from May 28th to June 9th. Akuruno authorities will discuss the trip after the World Health Organization has lifted the pandemic alert. Marlborough students have been going to Akuruno for 10 years. With the state facing a $3.9 billion budget deficit this year and a projected shortfall of $5.4 billion for fiscal 2010, officials visited the city last week to gather comments from area residents on how to solve the budget crisis. Their answer is to raise taxes.
This really is an exercise for the citizens to give us feedback as to whether they want to support any kind of additional revenues to support state services, and if they do, what form they think that ought to take.
State officials held a community forum last week at the city's Employment Training Center to get a sense about how residents feel about some proposed tax increases. As part of Governor Deval Patrick's listening tour, about 30 people heard Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development Suzanne Bump outline the state's fiscal situation and present Patrick's proposed tax hikes.
You all are aware of the fact that state revenues have declined precipitously as the economy has declined. And we have a lot of hard choices that are before us. Our Governor Patrick wants to make sure that folks have the information about what's going on with state finances and what his priorities are, putting reform in certain areas ahead of revenue.
Bump said the state has lost about $3.4 billion in revenue during the past year. The state faces a $5.4 billion deficit in fiscal 2010, and there would be still a $1.1 billion shortfall even if the state laid off every one of its workers. Bump said Patrick's proposal to drop sales tax exemptions on alcohol, soda, and candy would raise about $150 million, which would be dedicated to the state's wellness fund, while the proposed gas tax would bring in about $494 million for transportation funding. The proposed 1% meal and hotel tax hike would generate about $150 million for local aid. Overall, Patrick's revenue package would raise about $814 million. Residents attending the forum voiced little support for the proposed increases, but Bump said this did not surprise her because many residents are experiencing financial difficulties. Many audience members said funding education and healthcare, as well as creating environmentally friendly jobs, should be some of the state's top priorities.
On a lighter note, the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce realizes the pressures that face every resident currently, so they lighted the load this past week, took the meetings outside, and raised money for a great cause.
The Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce hosted their 35th Premier Golf Open on Tuesday morning this past week.
I'm really pleased today that we're enjoying ourselves and it's a lighter mood than we've seen because of the economy, and there's more and more people every year, and it's just a great day.
The Chamber's PGO is an annual event featuring golf as well as a social hour and a buffet dinner. The event truly has something for everyone.
If people don't golf, at least they can still network, connect with people, have some fun, get out of that pressure cooker of the daily business life.
The day began at 8 a.m. with a continental breakfast, and golf began at 9 a.m.
We are having a phenomenal day. This is what they call a Chamber of Commerce day. The sun is out, it isn't too hot, it's beautiful, there's a very light breeze, the birds are singing, the grass is green, and there's no playing surface better than the greens out here at the Marlborough Country Club.
The PGO benefits the MRCC's scholarship and economic development projects associated with the Chamber, and according to CEO of the Marlborough Chamber, Suzanne Morliali-Lieber, this event is extremely important, especially during this economic downturn.
We do this every year for camaraderie. We do this to raise money for our scholarship fund and all our economic development programs. We also do this to take some time out of the everyday hectic business time and enjoy ourselves. And you would not believe how many people do business while they're out on the golf course.
It wasn't all fun and games. For golfers, there was a chance to win a 2-year lease on a Ford Fusion on a hole-in-one challenge. All in all, the Chamber PGO is a great opportunity to network, relax, and contribute to a great cause.
Every year, the Chamber grants $5,000 in scholarship money to graduating seniors. This event gives us an opportunity to premiere that.
Lieber commented that if any resident wants to know about what this great city of Marlborough has to offer, like the beautiful Marlborough Country Club, visit their website at marlboroughchamber.org. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, 5 hardworking members of this community were recognized last weekend. We were there and we have all the highlights, but first, the Senior of the Year Award was given at a very special gathering this past week. Don't move, that story's up next.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
The 33rd Annual Mayor's Senior Awards Dinner took place this past week, where hundreds of seniors gathered to relax and enjoy a night of being waited on by numerous individuals of this community who wanted to say thanks. In addition, one special senior got the recognition he deserves. Here's Kelly McLaughlin with more.
This really is truly one of my favorite events during the year. It's an opportunity for us to give back to you everything you've given to this community.
For the 33rd straight year, Marlborough seniors enjoyed a night of dinner, dancing, and awards at the Mayor's Dinner and Senior of the Year Award ceremony.
To me, it's one of our special evenings that we have every year where we get to honor our seniors. We allow them, after all the years of serving our community, to sit back, relax, be served, and enjoy a great evening.
The dinner, which was held from 5 to 8 p.m. Thursday night at the Marlborough High School, featured the presentation of the Senior of the Year Award.
The Senior of the Year is nominated based on being over the age of 90, a lifelong resident of Marlborough, and he or she has a lifelong, perhaps, history of community service, of commitment, contribution to the city of Marlborough.
This year's recipient was Bernard Foisey.
Mr. Foisey is just a great man, has had so many contributions to this community. I've gotten the opportunity to meet his family tonight, and it's just really nice to be able to honor our Senior of the Year every year.
The event featured entertainment from a group of volunteer musicians who played at the dinner last year. City councilors, elected officials, and resident volunteers were on hand to serve the seniors, which was their way to say thanks for all the work they have done for this community. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
When you think of the name Emily Greenwood, an energetic, cheerful, dedicated volunteer should come to your mind. Employment Options has been fortunate to experience Emily's spirit and charitable ways over the years, and now it is time to honor Emily for her generous efforts.
We believe that work is a one way towards recovery. So thanks to the employers that are here tonight, thanks to our members, it really models other people to say, okay, I can do it. I know I can try.
Employment Options celebrated its annual awards fundraising banquet last week. The annual celebration recognizes the Options Clubhouse members who are committed to work and recovery, in addition to recognizing employers who partner with Options, committing to the goal of recovery through employment. Guests included members, staff, employers, volunteers, sponsors, and elected officials. This year's event focused on the organization's philosophy that there's always hope and optimism, even during difficult times. The evening began with a special celebration to honor Emily Greenwood of EKG Networking, who was the recipient of the annual Voice of Hope Award, a special award for a voice of advocacy in the community for employment options.
Emily is just the inspiration in the community. There isn't a meeting that I don't go to, there isn't a group that I haven't been participating in that Emily is not only involved, but leading some path around some community cause. So we thought, what better way to exemplify the Hope Award, but to really think about Emily, what she's given us, and also what she has given to the community as a larger citizen.
Greenwood has supported Employment Options in so many ways as the organization's technology partner and volunteer.
From my perspective, Employment Options has done so much for the community in terms of giving people hope and putting back into the community and helping people get back into the community and work their way back in and overcome a lot of challenges. So from my perspective, I was really honored to be included in that group of helping people be part of the community and contribute more to the community.
The event welcomed over 100 people from the community, and it was truly an inspirational event.
It was really nice to receive it, and really pretty honored to be involved with them.
To learn how you can follow in Emily's footsteps and help Employment Options, visit their website at employmentoptions.org, or you can call 508-485-5051. Continuing now with honoring outstanding individuals of this city, the Marlborough Public Schools Foundation took a time out to honor 5 amazing residents last weekend, and we were there. 5 dedicated Marlborough alumni and hardworking members of this community were honored last weekend as the Marlborough Public Schools held its 2nd annual Recognition Awards ceremony. The Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce co-sponsored the event held at the Courtyard by Marriott in Marlborough.
It's a night where we recognize people in our community for all the wonderful work they've done through many, many years in our schools, in our community, in our city. So we have 5 wonderful honorees tonight that we're all gathering here tonight to celebrate.
Honorees included Paul Kamataris, Joe Akanian, Kathy Magavero, Joe Valerati, and Mary Lou Vancini.
We are awarding them with a special plaque. This plaque is custom designed. We have a nice certificate on this wonderful plaque and also a wonderful merged picture of our high school and our city hall so people can recognize Marlborough and see what they've done.
Families and friends attended the event to applaud their efforts that make the city a better place to live and to raise their families.
They've all done so much. They've given back to their community, as I say, over the years. It isn't something that they've just done this year.
The Marlborough Public School Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was created in February of '07 to directly support the major fundraising program in the schools, Our Kids Win, a rebate program where the school district can earn money on everyday purchases made in designated stores in the city.
With the financial climate the way that it is, we're not able to do as much as we'd like through the state budget, through the city budget, so independent fundraising like this becomes more and more important.
The event was a chance to raise money, honor 5 amazing members of this community, and catch up with old friends. Recently retired Eugene Carlo of Aspet Valley High School attended and is doing just fine since he's left the city.
I got the greatest job in the world. My job is to lower the electric bills for businesses and schools in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
All in all, the entire event once again was a major success, and all honorees are honored that you think so highly of them.
I am very thrilled that I was one of the chosen people this year.
Sometimes you forget, people forget what you do, and I'm very happy that they didn't forget me.
I'm very humbled. I mean, it's just a fantastic happening for me. Being honored in front of all my friends and family. My family's here from all over the state. It means a lot.
One honoree hopes that this event will inspire all residents to do their part and do something great for this community.
Because it's not all about me, it's all about a lot of other people. And you really need to think about that, and people need to think about that.
Coming up, Memorial Day festivities began early this year. What one elementary school did to honor our veterans this past week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Memorial Day festivities came early this year at a local elementary school. Students gathered on the front lawn of Jarrick School to thank the veterans for all they've done.
The army's on its way, kept up the pain and strong.
Jarwick Elementary School students celebrated Memorial Day early this past week with a concert dedicated to our veterans. Students sang America the Beautiful, Yankee Doodle, and Drew a Grand Old Flag, just to name a few. Mary Murphy, principal of Jarwick Elementary, welcomed all guests to this special event.
I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend this concert, especially the veterans who have made so many sacrifices so that we can enjoy this freedom today.
Thanks to elementary school teacher Mrs. DeFazio, the Memorial Day event came to fruition once again this year.
Without her, this event would only be a dream. She is the force that makes it this reality.
Principal Mary Murphy thanked the students as well for all of their hard work.
Every year, Jarwick School, you bring tears to many eyes on this event. Not because we are sad, but because your singing touches us, and we thank you and Mrs. DeFazio for this gift.
Kane Elementary also celebrated on Thursday with a tribute to the veterans. Now the celebrations don't stop here. This Monday, May 25th, is Memorial Day, and the city has a full day planned. The day's events begin at 9 a.m., where veterans will place floral wreaths and play taps at each assigned city cemetery. At 9:30 a.m., veterans will meet and assemble for the day's parade. At 10 a.m., the parade will begin. Veterans who can't march should assemble at the Civil War Monument for the Memorial Day Parade closing ceremony. If you happen to miss out on the day's festivities, WMCT-TV will have full coverage of the event.
Today we have Stoley, and Stoley's a little wild guy, and so I have him a little bit pinned here, but he feels comfortable, so that's okay. He's just about 4.5 months old. He was recently neutered. He's ready to be adopted. He really needs the right family. People who have lots of time to socialize, exercise, and train. Those things are very important, and Stoley's going to need lots of all three. So if you have the time, you're looking for a great, fun family pet, please feel free to call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Welcome into sports and welcome to our M8 Access sister station here in Marlborough, where this week we honor Bill Bryant, who normally works with his dogs here in the Access station, but this week he was honored for his play with the Panthers.
The National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame, it's one big national organization, recognized me for a media award at their annual awards brunch 2-3 weeks ago.
Bryant received the award for the contribution to Central Massachusetts football by the media, an award handed to him for his countless hours of video production for the Marlborough Panther football team.
A lot of the videotaping, the presentations I've done, I've taped about 200, 120 to 200, depends on what level you look at, football games for 5-6 different teams, mainly focusing now on Marlborough, but I also did some Hall of Fame organization work and actually a promotional tape for the NFF.
There is no pay involved in what Bryant does or anything that he volunteers to do, but the satisfaction of helping those in the program and giving something back to Marlborough High School is what drives Bill to continue his success on the sidelines.
It's very rewarding. I mean, it's personally rewarding because it gives me an opportunity to see all the kids, all the coaches, and be hands-on involved. But also, as a parent, in getting and seeing your own kids' videos and pictures, I know what it means to the parents. Taping a Hall of Fame induction ceremony where you had guys in their 70s being inducted, and fathers and sons and their whole families out there, and being able to provide them a tape afterwards. It's endless, the amount of emails and phone calls and bumping into people that just say, oh, thanks so much for that. So it is very rewarding.
Although Bryant doesn't hail from Marlborough, Massachusetts originally, there's truly only one school for Bill these days.
It's not even close. Marlborough High School, orange and black, all the way. I have no connection at all with my former high school.
I'm just finishing up an episode here of Casey's Corner and Access program here in M8. You can make your own show as well. This happens to be Bill Bryant's. Next week in sports, we'll have the Assabet playoff preview as well as Marlborough's spring playoff push as well. Until then, back to Kristen.
Thanks, Carl. Coming up, the Rotary Club's annual fundraising event is coming up. The details are on the way, but first, a look at your 5-day forecast. The Rotary Club would like to formally invite all residents to a special event coming up called The Finer Things in Life. The night will include food, wine, liquor samplings, and a silent auction. It's taking place next Thursday evening, May 28th, at the Holiday Inn Hotel. The event will open at 6. Restaurant tasting will run through 8, while wine and spirits tasting will continue through 9. This year's event marks the 12th anniversary for this major Rotary Club fundraiser, which supports the club's charitable activities and community service projects throughout the entire year. Tickets go for $40 and are $30 for senior citizens. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on this week's MTW News Update. Marlborough honored veterans past and present with the city's annual Memorial Day Parade. We have a recap. At this week's school committee meeting, the Health and Wellness Committee received the recognition they deserve. Plus, the 4 to 7 schools' second annual donation drive is back. We have how you can help. And the Marlborough Rotary Club holds their annual fundraiser. It's all coming up right now on this MTW News Update. Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top stories. On Monday, veterans, officials, scouts, and bands from the middle and high schools marched through town and stopped the city's monuments to honor the fallen from each war during Marlborough's Memorial Day Parade. At the parade's end at Monument Square, State Representative Danielle Gregoire, the keynote speaker, remembered the hardships faced by veterans and her own family. Mayor Nancy Stevens quoted from a website dedicated to Memorial Day and urged spectators to honor the veterans whom others have forgotten, to place flowers at undecorated veterans' graves, and to pray for those who are still in captivity. Newly elected State Senator Jamie Eldridge read a proclamation from Governor Deval Patrick. It was once again a great event. Health representatives told the school committee on Tuesday night that the schools have made a number of healthy improvements, from encouraging walking to school to better cafeteria food, in the 3 years the city has used a key grant. The Health and Wellness Grant, which targets childhood obesity and other issues, runs out this year, but officials hope initiatives can continue. Goals included improving nutrition, examining eating habits, and increasing exercise. The grant was supported by the Metro West Community Healthcare Foundation. It marks a partnership among the Massachusetts Elementary School Principals Association, the Tufts University School of Medicine, and the school district. Officials will be discussing how these great initiatives can continue. The Marlborough Intermediate Middle School's second annual Stuff a Bus 2009 Food Pantry Donation Drive is now underway. The fundraiser is part of a community service learning project aimed at supporting the Marlborough Food Pantry. You can help by dropping off non-perishable food and personal hygiene items at any of the schools. The goal is to fill as many school buses as they can with items for the pantry. The drive will run through June 8th. Speaking of holding fundraising events for a good cause, the Marlborough Rotary Club held their annual event called The Finer Things in Life on Thursday evening at the Holiday Inn Hotel. The event features a restaurant sampling, a wine and spirits tasting, and a unique silent auction. This year marks the 12th anniversary for this popular Rotary Club event. All the proceeds from the event will go to support the club's charitable activities and community service projects throughout the year.
Today we have Holly, and Holly is a beautiful purebred chocolate lab. She's 5 years old, spayed female. She was brought into Buddy Dog from a private home simply because they didn't have enough time for her. This happens a lot here at Buddy Dog. It's really sad for us to see families giving up on their pets. They'd much rather be with them and have a few minutes with them than to have lots of time with a total stranger. So please, if you have a pet and you feel like you're not giving enough time, make a little time for it and try and keep it in the home. If you're interested in Holly or any of the other pets we have here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
On Thursday afternoon, the Aspet girls softball team got going, and Nikki Soto, she would be a huge factor in this first-round matchup against Valley Tech. Aspet had things tied up at 3 apiece with Valley Tech, who they defeated earlier this season 7-6. When Sam Kerrigan blasts this one to center field, that will score 2 runs, and Aspet takes a 5-3 lead. Kerrigan had a decent day on Thursday afternoon, but somebody else had a better afternoon. 7-3 to score now. Blooper in the center field looks like it'll just be a single. She'll hold off at first, play a little chicken, and gets the errant throw back into the infield, picks up second base, and that's the kind of determination Aspet would need on this afternoon. Soto does not end up scoring in the inning, but that effort will pay dividends later. Up 7-6 now. Aspet, Aaron Moore throws it in the right field, gets by the first baseman. The tying run will come around to score here in the 6th. Everything's knotted up at 7. Aspet was the higher seed in this contest, but Valley Tech, those girls are feeling pretty lucky to be in this ball game right now. 7-7 in the 7th. Grounder up the middle, bases were loaded. The throw goes to the plate. The runner slides in safely, beating the throw, and Valley Tech has an 8-7 lead. So we head to the 7th, the bottom of the 7th. Aspet Valley trying to pull out the W, but a swing and a miss, 1 down with nobody on. Now with a runner on first. The grounder to shortstop, the easy flip up to second. Valley Tech just 1 out away from a huge upset. So with a runner on first, the pitch is low and inside. It's a pass ball. The runner will advance to second. So the tying run just 120 feet away. Nikki Soto steps up to the plate now. Shows bunt, pulls back. The pitch is inside and gets to the backstop again. The runner will advance to third. The tying run on third. The winning run now on second. Nikki Soto, the chance with the winning run. Soto with a Soto pop to deep left center field. The tying run comes in to score. The winning run rounds third and heads for home. And Nicky Soto is the hero on this afternoon, advancing the Lady Aztecs to their second round matchup this weekend. On the Panthers softball side, they received a first round bye, and they'll play the winner of Burncoat versus Neshoba. They're coming off a pretty impressive week last weekend as they took down Algonquin on the road. Jesse Bryant should be huge in this postseason. They were undefeated in league play. We'll see what this Panthers softball team can do in the postseason. Moving over to the lacrosse field, where Aspet Valley was in the first round against Shrewsbury on Wednesday afternoon. But Shrewsbury, this thing was pretty close in the first half. Shrewsbury, the more dominant team on this afternoon. A missed pass, but good things happen to good teams, and that ball goes to the back of the net. Aspet, usually a more physical team as well, but on this day, Shrewsbury laying out the big hits right there, taking out the Aspet player there. Shrewsbury looking to tack on more as they'll take a 3-1 lead at the half on this little poke just into the back of the net, and they roll on to a 15-1 victory. Aspet's season comes to an end at 14-5. Marlborough Panthers lacrosse, they were in action on Thursday afternoon up in Northbridge. They lost 11-10, so John Butler has another team that ends in the first round. You remember his hockey season didn't go so well either. They took the fall, and John Butler will have a nice summer vacay. Marlborough Panthers girls lacrosse, they will play Grafton in the first round. The winner of that contest will take on Shrewsbury. The girls lacrosse team finished their season at 12-6, and they are the 6th seed. Speaking of John Butler, the boys tennis team will play at Doherty this weekend, as they will be the 9th seed in their first round matchup. They had an impressive upset last week, and maybe they can carry this momentum into the next round as they beat Algonquin last Friday 3-2. The girls tennis team will take on Quabbin. They're the 8th seed in their first round matchup this weekend as well. The Marlborough Panthers baseball team did not qualify with a 5-win and 15-loss season. They suffered a tough loss last Friday at Algonquin as well, and the Panthers baseball season comes to an end. Aztecs baseball, on the other hand, they will move on into the postseason. They have a first-round matchup at Northbridge this weekend. They will be the 11th seed. Tough first-round gig for them, as Coach Silk said it will be interesting this weekend. That'll do it for sports this week. We'll see you all next week with the entire playoff recaps.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of your MTW News Update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The preceding program was provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.